Good morning, everybody. My name is Jean Sanchez with the Community Development Department. We're now starting our DRC meeting for June 26, 2024. It is currently 9 a.m. Before we get started on the items, let's do a roll call. See if we have a quorum today. Community Development and Planning Zoning is here. Police is not here. Public Services and Engineering.
I'm here, and I'm here.
I think so. Fire,
Jeremy Holderfield.
building.
John Hanson.
Alrighty. Let's get started on the special events today. The first item is the Main Street Apopka, the Apopka Dog Mare 2024 Election Day. It's at Kitlan Nelson Park, and the project manager is the Recreation Department, Lexi.
So, Main Street Apopka is looking to bring the Apopka Dog Mare on Saturday, July 27th. They'll be there from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's a festival/celebration to elect the 2024 Apopka Dog Mare. It's at Kitlan Nelson Park. They're expecting about 150 people. There'll be food trucks, vendors, 10x10 tents, no alcohol, and parking will be on Edwards Field and the surrounding paved areas.
All right. I have no comments on this. Let's go around DRC if anybody has any comments. Engineering Public Services.
Are dogs allowed in the park?
I think they are.
Okay. I don't have anything, but thank you.
Yes, they are.
That's what I thought.
Fire,
No comments.
building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
All right. All right, the next item on the agenda is the Duran. Is it the Duran Festival?
Yeah.
Ria's Fitness Professional is holding it, and this will be at Edwards Field.
Right, so this event is a Duran fitness event. It's an organized fitness event. It'll be on two different dates, July 9th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., and then that's on a Tuesday. And then it'll be on Saturday, July 13th from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. It'll be on Edwards Field with an expected attendance of 100 people. They'll have 10x10 tents, no alcohol, and parking will be on Edwards Field away from the actual event setup. It'll be like on the opposite side of the field.
Okay, what do they do? Do they just work out?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
Yeah, it's a workout, basically.
All right. I have no comments. Engineering,
Nothing, thank you.
fire,
No comments.
building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
All right, perfect. And no walk-ins, right?
Nope, no walk-ins.
Perfect. Let's move on to the site plan items. The first item is True Coffee Construction Site Plan. I think a lot of you are familiar with this. This is the fourth submittal. Let's see. I think this is actually, it's been updated since we received this site plan. I had some comments, but let's check with the applicant if they have any comments or questions.
Mina Robinson, 60 East Main Street. Our engineer is working through the comments. It would actually, the revised has been uploaded. You
Perfect.
should have it.
Okay. I will send out a DRC, just an FYI that it's been uploaded. Y'all should have gotten notification, but I know we get plenty of those, so I don't want you to have an oversight with this one. This is the fourth submittal, so you should be quite familiar with this. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
You guys have any comments or questions? Engineering, Public Services?
I guess my question, so this one will proceed like the others. So the information to respond, the response to the comments will be uploaded, then it'll be scheduled at DRC again, and we'll review the comments and whatever. Okay. Yep, then I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Fire? Building?
Nothing at this time, thanks.
Perfect. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the Logistics 429 at Apopka Ridge. This is at the Ridge PUD. This is the industrial portion of the ridge south of Bronson Drive. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Jack Junction Way on Bronson Drive. Yep.
All right. And Mark Smiley is the. Oh, I can't seem to. Okay, there you go. Mark Smiley is the applicant representative, and this is the scope area right here. Do you have any comments or questions on the comments you received, Mark?
Just wanted to verify you got my response on the clearing permit.
Yes.
So we're good there.
We
Cleared
are
the whole
good.
site.
I just needed confirmation.
And then the other, I read through Richard your comments last night. I'm thinking that maybe the way I did this submittal maybe confused the previous submittal. So if you're looking at the building on the bottom right, that building, the building to the left, 300, and the drive that goes out along the right side, all of that was approved under the previous 100, 200, 500 approval, the construction permit. So I'm thinking that maybe my best thing to do would be to gray out everything that was previously approved and just show this new building 100 on the upper right corner. We flipped numbers here, and what is just for this submittal, because we did get the St. John's permit covers the entire parcel. We got a water and sewer permit. The sewer permit covers the lift station and all of that stuff. So maybe I kind of confused you on this submittal, and I can help clear it up if I grade out what was previously approved.
Yeah, that would help if you could do that and then resubmit. And if you could email and let Windsor King and I know that you resubmitted, then we can take a look at it and provide any additional comments. And it looks like the way the development was done, some of these comments you may have addressed in a previous phase. He's just looking at first submittal of construction site plan.
Mhm.
So if all that stuff's not in the construction site plan, he doesn't go and look for it somewhere else.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
is going
yeah.
on.
I'm wondering if you can scroll to the. I wonder if it will help out here just real quick. Is there another sheet that you can scroll down?
This one?
So yeah, really almost like everything in the bottom half was all previously approved. It would really be just this building that's kind of at an angle that's really under this approval. So I'll do that when I make the resubmittal and get it back to you.
Okay.
And it was really just Gene and Richard comments. I didn't see anybody else.
I don't think there were any other comments, Mark.
Okay. Very good. I think that's all I have.
All right. Any other comments for DRC? There's none from me. Richard?
No, thank you.
Fire?
Comments?
Building?
I don't have anything, thanks.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Mark. The next item on the agenda is the variance application for 2820 Hilltop Loop. And this is a request to reduce the rear yard setback by, if I recall correctly, it's 5.5 feet. And the normal setback required by code is 20 feet from the rear. And I'll defer it to the applicant to elaborate on your request.
Okay, thank you. We are requesting to have a lanai. Well, we already started the lanai. We didn't know the process. We're new to Florida.
Can we have your name for the
Oh,
record?
my name is Veronica McDowell.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. To finish the project, we're installing a lanai. It's 27 feet wide, 14 feet in length, which is a discrepancy of 5.5 feet based on the required setback variance for our particular lot. It's mainly built to provide optimal shade and additional coverage from the sun due to the size of our family. The standard size that most homeowners have on our block is pretty small and narrow, and it doesn't allow for you to have a full patio set or your entire family to be out at one time. So when we were having it built, we wanted something bigger, but unfortunately we did not know that the setback requirement was there. We only thought that we needed to have it approved by our HOA ARC team, which we did get the approval and thought that's all that we needed. But once we found out we needed more, we stopped and started the process to the permitting and variance.
All right, thank you for that. So I'll tell you what the planning concerns are. Planning staff looked at this closely. Um, the thing is, you're in the Vista Reserve Plan development. When that development order was issued, there are conditions in that PD stating that accessory structures must meet the standards and setbacks of the land development code. The land development code requires that anything, an addition like this, must have 20 feet of setback. Um, Our variance section in the code also prohibits you from waiving or deviating from any conditions of approval of a development order. So that's really the first thing. Um, in addition, you are not meeting the hardship criteria just based on what I see here and your narrative on the application, and even in this morning. I didn't receive written responses, but just from a bird's eye view, without your written responses, we would object to the variance if you do take this to Planning Commission, because it doesn't meet our variance criteria and zoning review standards. So with that said, we'll go around DRC members, see if they have any comments or concerns. Public Services Engineering.
I just had a couple of questions. What's the red X4 near the driveway? Does that symbolize something? The red X on the left side of the slide?
No, actually, that's just where a tree
Oh,
used
okay.
to be that got damaged.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so since it, well, I mean, I'm going to agree with planning and zoning about the setback and so I'm going to vote however they vote on it. But I don't really have engineering concerns because it does say the lot grading type is going to be A, which I thought I'd let you know in advance. That means all the water from your lanai and your home and your yard all make its way to the street in the front of your yard. So none of the, and so there'll be impervious area created with the lanai because it'll have shade. So it'll produce more runoff. So that can't go on your neighbor's property. So and we're not going to look at that other than during probably the final inspection. And we'll just look at it, and if it looks like the grading takes the water, from a gutter directly to the neighbor, then we're not going to approve that. So I just thought I'd let you know that in advance.
Oh, no, I completely understand. But where it sits, we have more than enough space that even with the gutters, because we already have, what I said, the project had already started before we found out it couldn't be done. The gutters are already there besides the main one here. So even where it falls literally in our grass. So it's our neighbor who actually lives right behind us is right there. So she could attest to that. Like, it's nowhere near her property.
Okay, then doesn't sound like you're going to get the variance in the first place. But the only other idea is maybe you want to go with a longer, skinny one and stay far enough away from the property line. Maybe an idea, but that's all I had. Thank
Okay.
you.
Fire. Building.
I was just wondering, to be in compliance, how far could you come out from the house? Is it that 9 foot,
It'll be 8 feet.
8 feet
Our
off the
backyard from the house to the
towards the
property
backyard?
line is 28 feet.
Gotcha. I agree with planning, and I sort of agree with Richard. If you could make it skinnier and go longer towards on the back side of your house, you know what I mean? Make it wider.
So this way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Unfortunately, due to our variance, what we have to deal with, we're kind of, tied with where we're at. I just consider a lot outside what the hospital work. So I understand where you're coming from.
Another alternative would be to have that 8-foot solid roof and do a screen cage for the rest of it. The screen cage would let you go up to the easement you have there, the 10-foot wide easement, if it's a screen roof. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so an enclosure,
Yes.
we could have went further out
Correct.
versus the actual covering.
Yeah, you can do. I mean, I do this partially. I have this at my house partially because over the cage would be the pool, or under the cage would be the pool. But yeah, partially. So 8 feet of it, right? The width would be solid, and then the rest would be screening. That's another alternative.
Okay.
It's entirely your discretion, but yes. You just let me know, based on how we're discussing it here, if you want to move forward with your application and go to public hearings, but know what your recommendation is when you go to Planning Commission.
Okay, so if we agree to the recommendation, well, if we agree to doing what you suggested, which is technically allowed, stopping the full covering, which is the wood covering at 8 feet, and then doing a screen covering, which is allowed to go further.
Mhm.
Um, if we have site plans that state that.
Yes. Then you can just withdraw this. Just send me a message on OpenGov telling us to withdraw this variance application and submit your building based on
Permit,
that.
right.
Your building permit.
Is that a decision that has to be made right now?
No,
Oh, okay, because my husband
you.
is not here.
No, it's fine. You just let us know. The timing is up to you.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem.
And if your husband wants to hear the discussion and even look at our faces, I think that's available on YouTube in case he wants to do that.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's proof. All right. Well, I think you got some pretty good alternatives.
Yeah. All right,
so
thank you.
you're welcome. You have a great day.
You too.
All right. The next item on the agenda is the 220 North Washington variance. Amir Hamza is the project manager.
Good morning, everyone. So this is a vacate right-of-way of an abandoned part of Oak Street, just west of Washington Avenue. Currently, it's being used as green space, and it's just south of Lot 85 and north of Lots 8 to 11.
Is this a vacation?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's a vacation of what? A right of way or easement?
Right-of-way.
I'm sorry. It's listed incorrectly in our thing.
I don't know why it was.
But it is a vacation of right of way.
Yep.
What along? Is it Oak Street?
Oak Street, abandoned part of Oak Street. So Oak Street ends at Washington, but then there's like an abandoned part that it's currently shown on property appraiser as Oak Street, but it's currently green space, and they want to vacate both property owners want to vacate the right of way.
Okay.
Can I ask Amir? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Can I ask Amir a question before we move on to the applicant?
Yes, of course.
So there is, and I've coordinated with, I believe, both of the property owners, and there is one of the city's utilities that we maintain in that right of way, and we don't know exactly where it is because we don't have it surveyed. So me, and I believe both of the adjacent property owners have said, yeah, it can be an easement. We just want to vacate the right of way. So I don't know process-wise would they have to? I guess do we vacate it then record the easement, or I don't know how the two-step works. So we get to both steps of vacating.
We can do it all at once. The vacate, though, has to go in front of city council, and the easement can just be recorded by a separate document that doesn't have to go to public hearing.
Okay, good. But from my understanding, I support that plan.
Okay, so there's no objection then, Amir, from public services.
Yeah. Other than Amir's you're gonna do the two-step process.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Perfect. I think fire stepped out for a bit. Building. All right. Is the applicant here?
We're both here.
Okay. Do you have any comments or questions? No?
Did they have any, I don't know about this. I mean, they didn't have any objection, no, to go forward, so.
So we don't object. Y'all can move forward and you'll coordinate that with Amir for public hearings. I think you heard Richard when he said he's going to require an easement over that utility area, so you can move forward with your application.
For what?
What was the easement for, Richard?
It's for a utility. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know whether it's a water line, a sewer line, or probably not a reclaimed water line.
Mr. Henry actually.
There is a abandoned sewer line that runs down the middle of that right of way. There was a manhole on the west side of it, all the way at the back, adjacent to Hawthorne Oaks, the new development, which is the reason that the Oak Street extension was abandoned. I bought my house in 1999, and when I bought it, part of the survey where that right of way is specifically states it has been vacated. Neither the city of Apopka or Orange County knows anything about that vacation. But it's never been used for anything. It's never been maintained by anyone but me since 1999. There is a guy wire pole for the power lines on the very back of it. We have got release from Duke. As long as there is access to that, they have no problem. So I'm having a hard time understanding why we need an easement.
So when I look at the city's geographical information system, I saw a active line that did not jump out at me as being abandoned.
Well, it could be active at any moment. Have
Well, and
my
that's
neighbor
right.
or myself tied into it, but we weren't allowed to do that. So
Right.
that the line is there and it is active. It's just been plugged off on the west side on the property line for Hawthorne Oaks to the west, a whole new development, which was the reason it was originally abandoned to start with. They were going to run Oak Street all the way through into there. That development didn't want to do that. So right now what we ended up with is a space that is not maintained, and apparently, according to the city and county, nobody knows who it belongs to. But like I said, from 1999, my official survey for my home shows that right-of-way being abandoned. And we have assumed that since then. I have planted trees on it and maintained it since 1999. So
I've looked for this
we've
before.
had no problems with any utilities or anything else.
A few years ago, actually, when y'all first visited community development, I could not find vacation documents, so we can't confirm nor deny whether or not it's been vacated. So,
Who's the surveyor?
The
can you
sur-
see that? What is that?
Lust Environmental Survey or something?
Plus
The survey was
Oh,
done by
First?
First Financial
Finan-
Surveyors
yeah.
Incorporated.
Oh, that sounds like the owner.
Surveyors Inc. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
That's all I can
I
make
thought that
out.
was an idea. A lot of surveyor companies stay around a long time. Okay, so what I'm seeing is at this time, the information before me is that you're asking for me to support the vacation of the right-of-way.
Correct.
So by the
And-
fact that you're asking me to vacate it, I'm going to assume it hasn't previously been vacated. So if you're asking me to vacate it, I've got what is appears to me to be a line that the city may need to dig up and replace someday. I need at least 20 feet, depending on the depth of that line.
Yeah.
I think one answer to let you move quickly would be to give dedicate the city a utility easement over the entire right of way, so then we don't need to figure out where the line is. But if you'd like to survey where exactly that utility is and the utility pole, and give me a 20 or 30 or whatever foot easement it is to the city in lieu of the entire thing, I'd be all right with that. But
Yeah.
I can't turn it into a city project where I have to go survey it to figure out where it is to tell you where the easement needs to be. I just need to do as best I can to make sure it's covered at all times.
Yeah, and we have all the easements from everybody
Can you-
else.
Yeah, we've got the releases
It's all
from
right.
all of
We
the
just need it on
utilities for
record.
that.
Yeah,
Well-
we did all the easement as well as the owner at 220. You know, we went through all of the cable, electric, water,
sewer.
gas, all of them. They all have signed off on it, and both the cable and the power company just said they needed to have access to that should they need to go in and service anything, and everybody was fine with it.
And we agreed with that.
So that's a utility easement.
That is an
So that
easement.
utility.
So you
company-
agreed to an
so-
easement already?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we would agree to that easement, right?
Yeah, I mean, we need to see it, but yeah, if it includes city utilities, then I'd be fine with that.
So you can have your vacation. You just need to maintain that easement.
Yeah. One thing, Angel Garcia, 220 North Washington. We recently last year bought
Can
the
you
Ackerman.
go a little bit for me?
Last year bought the Ackerman house. I don't know if you know the house. He was the first doctor that Apopka had in 1950s. It's a mid-century modern house in 220 North Washington with a roof up and down, up and down, up and down. Uh, well, first of all, I want to say, thank you for receiving us. And actually, I'm really proud to be here in Apopka. I've been in Orlando for the past 35 years as a veteran that have worked with the city of Orlando in many projects myself with Tony Ortiz, the commissioner, and stuff like that. I'm really proud of that. I mean, I moved over here, found that house, my mid-century modern dream. Anyway, in buying that house, basically from the Ackermans, which they were the original owners that actually built it, we did find out about the easement. We see it also in the plans of the city that it was going to be a street, following. But behind our lots, actually, that was undeveloped land. And of course, when they developed the whole subdivision that's right, behind us, basically, that was basically abandoned at that moment. I couldn't find nothing either in the sense of the vacation, apart from Stan's documents, where it says from the surveyor that it was vacated. I was looking all over the place to find out, but indeed, like Stan says, for the past since '99, basically, he's been maintaining it. I'm sure there's pictures that I put on the request uh, that it shows the way that it's sodded. Our main concern is this. I mean, and I know I have no opposition, as long as it's an easement. But I found kids over there smoking pot myself from the subdivision behind it. Uh, Ever since, because I'm I'm a veteran, and I just used to work in law enforcement in New York, and I'm a little bit strict. So I told them they're Spanish, and I told them, listen, you're not going to cross through here. You're not going to be there smoking pot. You're going to be outside. If not, I'm going to go to your parents. Apart from that, actually, in that area, I mean, right now, I know Stan's been maintaining it all the way along, but even my landscaper now had to go in there because he found what he called a snake pit. For the and that's it. We don't want no snakes here nor there whatsoever. So there's a lot of things that we listed down as the pros and the reasoning behind actually requesting this formal vacation and be allotted, to the both lots. I spoke initially to, oh Lord, I forgot his name. He's going to kill me.
Bobby Howell.
Bobby Howell.
Yes.
Spoke last year when we were buying the house. Spoke to Bobby and I said, "Listen, can you guide me on how to do this?" Uh, and basically, all the neighbors as well. If need, they can come and actually state, because we've had one of the reasons in the pictures that I added to my PDF on the file, you'll see that Stan had to put uh, railroad ties. Why? On the road, right, to avoid cars, because if you see the street on Oak that ends over on Washington, my house is here, his house is here. This is the right of way. People used to go all the way through and end up at the right of way. That's happened various times. So
They came very close to running into the home in the adjacent subdivision, and in fact knocked over the stockade fence. That's happened twice.
okay, so that's why that fence is okay.
That's what led to the railroad ties out front. It's a safety hazard,
Yeah.
the way it sits, because nothing has ever been put to notify people coming down Oak Street that the road doesn't go all the way through. It doesn't cross Washington, because I have a driveway that was already installed, an asphalt driveway that goes down about 75 feet and it turns into the side of my house. So at night, it does look like the road continues. And we've had problems with that. It's a safety issue. It's a security issue from the kids. And we found homeless people sleeping back in the back of it. Things like that.
So I mean, in this street, I mean, Mayor Nelson's mother lives there. It's like 5 houses down. For me, I moved to that street. I'm a really particular person because it's a beautiful street. Beautiful homes, established people. I'm just turned 60, so I'm retiring from the service and everything like that, and I wanted to have my forever home basically in this type of neighborhood where there's a lot of people that you know. But yeah, indeed, the neighbors are also aware. They want to come if they have to come, I guess, for the public hearings. I actually expressed their approval or support of becoming like the 30 and the 30. I don't have, and I spoke to Stan ourselves, I don't have no interest on actually building on that property at all. It could be an easement, complete easement for my, The main thing is to avoid, if we're maintaining something, because right now, Stan's been maintaining it all the way along, but since we went in, we're like, half and half. The other day I have to spend $1,300 on actually cutting some trees in the back because there was like a bunch of brush back there. Anyway, so we're trying to actually be able to put a fence. I think I put over to the building department that comment. Just wanted to just put a nice landscape, basically, so people will see that it's actually a property, part of the properties. It could be accessed at any time. Cable did ask a 15-foot easement on the left-hand side on it, but at the same time, again, we have no interest on building. For me, it could be an easement complete all the way along.
All right. Well, you have no objection here, just a condition of approval for those easements. And you can work with Amir to go forward with public hearings to vacate officially. You'll get an ordinance. I think it is an ordinance. I'll have to check. We haven't done a lot of vacates in the last couple of years.
That's what I was told.
So, because we don't give out a lot of properties, but we don't have any issues with this. So just work with Amir for your schedule and move forward.
Okay.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
You have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. I think that was the last of our items. Is there any discussion items today?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm one of the